Whoa, okay. Good to go?
Yeah, I'm ready. Sorry, I'm
Cool.
good. Carry on.
Nah, don't worry. All right. Boxing this week. We are back. It's episode, I think, 5. I'm losing count now because we've done quite a few.
Yeah.
And it's been a big week for boxing. We're joined by Paolo, as per usual, Boxing Corner Casuals.
Can you hear background noise?
Very little.
All right, cool. No problem.
There you
Sorry,
go.
carry on.
We're
Sorry.
joined by Paolo, Boxing Corner Casuals. We've got myself at Boxing Corner, whatever. Yeah, big week for boxing. Big week for boxing. And I've just realised I'm not recording on my camera. So I'm going to do that whole thing again, which is going to be really fucking cringy. Right. Doing it once is one thing. Doing it twice makes it really awkward. Right. Welcome back to boxing. Boxing this week. Okay. Boxing this week with Paolo, Boxing Corner Casuals, and myself in the other corner. What a nice way of putting it. Massive week for boxing. We've got Gervonta Davis beating Frank Martin. We've got Sabriel Matias losing to Liam Paro. We've got Chris Smith defending against Richard Briakpor. We've got Ben Whittaker fighting an MMA fighter. And we've got the predictions for the future. The MMA bit made you jump. I'm just calling Aaron Yecker an MMA because of the elbow and the head button and all this.
Yeah.
But
Nah, it's yeah. I don't know what to make of that fight. A lot of criticism on Ben Whittaker, which is quite funny actually, because he's fighting against a. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, bro.
no,
I'm interviewing. I'm just asking. Yeah, or can you move it to the other door? Fucking Mary Berry in the kitchen, man. Jesus Christ. Sorry. Keep that in, man. Fuck it.
I'm queuing that. That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. I got thrown off there. So I'm working from home vibes, man. Yeah, literally, Ben Whittaker. I got nothing bad to say, to be honest with you. I feel like he controlled the fight. I don't know what people expect of him, because I really think it's a casual opinion that you expect Ben Whittaker to knock out every opponent. Bearing
Yeah.
in mind, he's still quite new himself, given he's been doing the Olympics and everything else. But when you're talking about the professional game, I feel like everyone's got to start somewhere. And the one compliment I've got of two fighters on that card is they're getting put into really difficult fights early on in their career, but you're being criticised. And I say difficult because he weren't on Ezra's level. He weren't on Whittaker's level, Ezra, but
Yeah.
he done well in there for Whittaker because he gave Whittaker rounds. And when you're fighting guys, for me, at that point, it's very difficult to get a good, solid amount of rounds. So for Whittaker, it's all bonuses. Obviously, the way the fight come about and everything else, I don't think he was too happy about, but it is what it is. It caused some controversy. He just moves on to the next one, obviously. So I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think people have been way too critical of his power.
Yeah.
You don't need stupid power to be like one of the top in the world. The question is more about like the stardom aspect with Ben Whittaker, where ideally, if you're going to be a superstar, you want that power, but again, you don't need it. It's not necessarily like Mayweather did sort of the last 20 fights of his career where he was basically just having to outbox people, and he made the most money of his career in those last 20 fights because the more people were watching. So Whittaker doesn't need to focus on that. And if you look at the other stuff he's doing, it's really good. I don't think it was a great fight. Not really Ben Whittaker's fault. I don't think it was great matchmaking. As much as the storyline's good, it sells well. I
No,
get
no,
that.
no. The matchmaking, I'll be brutally honest with you, was poor in it. But Ben
Yeah.
Whittaker, he's under contract and he can only do what he
Yeah,
can
yeah,
do.
yeah. Exactly. That's not
I
Ben Whittaker's
do.
fault.
I will argue the case, yeah, that at some point the issue Ben has got is Matchroom are looking at him. Uh, a lot of promotional companies, I suppose Queensbury would be looking at him as well. And in comparison to those two, boxers just can't compete. So the issue you've got is what Frank and Eddie can offer is Saudi.
Yeah.
And what Saudi brings is a lot of money. And what a lot of money brings is the fighters. Money talks. These guys are in the ring for legacy and money, but obviously the sport that they're in, they want to be earning good from it. Obviously, I don't know how much he would have taken away from fighting at Crystal Palace, but I know from a few I know, put it this way, yeah, I can't say what I'm going to say. I can, but I know from people that have boxed on that card that I know of
Yeah.
and spoke to that, Saudi money talks, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So, there's always that there. Obviously, Turkey, I'll say, is looking at doing like a super league with all the different guys.
Yeah.
So there's that as well. But when we go back to Ben, yeah, he's got a big decision because he's only got a couple of fights left on his contract with Boxer. And I've heard from multiple people that he's looking to shoot after that. The thing is, I'm struggling, really struggling. I love, like, I support Boxer, but they're losing purse bids to a lot of fights to obviously other promotional companies.
Mm.
And yeah, I want them to do well, but obviously in terms of a star that Ben Whitaker's becoming, I just worry that he's going to outgrow the organization.
Yeah.
And that's not even to say Boxer are massive, but if we're just talking facts here, I think that Ben Whitaker might push on, and he could be, Eddie Hearn's Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren are two of the biggest promoters, let alone in the country, in the world.
Mm.
In the world. And I'm talking like levels of top rank, all these people. Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren are up there with them.
Yeah.
And arguably, in some eyes, for me, it's the best promoters in the world.
Well, now with Saudi, yeah. I think they are the best promoters, definitely.
They are the best promoters in the world. And you saw Golden Boy Promotions, Top Rank, all these other places can't get near Queensbury and Matchroom at the moment. Do you know what I'm saying? In my opinion.
Yeah.
So, and that it's a bit unfortunate for Ben, really. But as I said, I hope they get a stiff of this Saudi deal soon, because I think that's the only thing that's going to entice some of these big fighters to stay. So, with regards to Ben, yeah, performance was what it was, but he dominated the rounds and won convincingly. So, can't knock him for his performance, man. I rate Ben highly. I think he can do what he does at a higher level. He just picks up the experience as he goes, and all these negative people that talk about him, I'm going to say something to you all now. You're going to watch him because you want to see him succeed, or you're going to watch him because you're going to knock out. Either way, you are getting your wallet out and you are paying to watch Ben Whitaker fight. That's it.
Yeah, true. The only thing I'm not a fan of, and it's nothing to do with him, is he's got no control of it again. WBC have inducted him at 22 in their number 22 in their rankings, which is quite far down. And I do understand why, but it's another where you said, what is it? Moneyman Sullivan or Maurizio Moneyman, or whatever it was.
Maurizio, I don't know how talented your editing skills are. I can help you out here, but we need Shane McMahon here, because that meme. Here comes the money. Moneyman Sullivan, yeah. But he's a joke. See, we go back to this, yeah. I am too political to be falling in line with to get onto some of these places to do interviews. I'll be honest with you. But for me, you put Ngannou in, you're a joke. Top 10, you're a joke. As somebody involved in boxing at that level, you're a joke. Like Ngannou, that's the best example I can use of Sullivan. Ngannou loses a fight and he goes in the top 10 WBC rankings because he done well. There's guys on that card that bust their balls off, like it fights every year, and they're not getting moved up the rankings. So yeah, it's a joke. But 22nd, if we're talking, I actually think I'm glad Ben's on the rankings because he can move up of it. For him, it's a bonus.
Oh yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I like for him. Big fan of his, so I'm happy for him. My point is more, if you look at who he's actually beat so far, there's no question he will get to world level, and more than likely is going to win a world title. But right now, does the wins he's got actually put you into world rankings? I don't think so. Not yet.
Well, no,
he's going to get there, of course. And then he's been put in there because he sells tickets like nobody else at his level.
Listen, it's one of them things. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? Because I think it's a bit mad, but also at the same time, I'm not mad in it because, like I said, I just want Ben to do well.
It's inevitable.
I hear what you're saying. If it were going to happen now, it was going to happen soon anyway.
Yeah.
But the difference is he actually boxes and he actually competes regularly and wins his fights. And Ngannou competes but loses. So is he still even in the rankings?
No, he got dropped. He was like one of the. I think it was a record. They went from like top 10 and then dropped him So like
Where is
completely, or it's ridiculous. But
what? It's mad. I'm trying to find it now. Yeah, no, I can't find it. That means he's been dropped way off of it. But yeah, Sullivan is WBC's a joke anyway. I think it is nowadays. Like genuinely, I ain't got many positive things to say about them. I think they're the kind of people that ruin boxing. People like that.
yeah, there's no
And
need for
yeah,
them.
yeah.
But
He. If you've got money, you'll get there. Put it that way.
yeah.
So yeah.
Also on the event we had and we'll talk about it because I know that she's a friend of yours in a sense, definitely friends with her brother.
The family,
family
the
friend.
family are all like, yeah, we they're cool, man. We're cool.
Yeah.
We're cool, man. We're all cool. Michael, Fran. I've only met her sister Hannah like once or whatever it was one of the weigh-ins, but they're all cool.
Yeah.
Her agent's cool. Her dad's cool. I met her mum, but her mum seems cool in it. Like from what these lot are telling me. Big up, listen as well. Yeah, big up to her for what she done. Big up to her nan. Rest in peace as well.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, 19 years old to go out and fight and do what she done with all of that in the back of her mind. Champion. Bradley as well, part of their family. He's another one, man. And I've got love for all of them. I just listen. It's not even from a place. I met them doing this stuff, but they are. When I tell you, yeah, if you ever meet any of them, they are genuine people to the point that you feel very comfortable to be able to talk around them. And I don't half the time. When I've had conversations with them, a lot of the time it's not in front of a camera. It's not documented. They're conversations, just general ones I've had with them. Fran, listen, man. Yeah, I told you I'm a big fan of hers, a big supporter of her and what she does, and I wish nothing but the best. She's a young fighter who is trying to become a world champion. It's a dream like anyone else. She had a really tough fight in this fun, and I feel like her opponent brought the best out in her. I and this is another example of somebody who doesn't have to take fights of that difficult with the experience she's got, but she takes it. She takes it on, takes it in her stride, and pushes on. I think she's on holiday at the moment, enjoying sunning it up, but well deserved, to be honest with you.
Massively.
I got no faults with her performance. You know, there's I saw some criticism from people online saying like, and this is for anyone sort of at the Fran's level, and I find it really difficult when people say, yeah, you didn't get him out of there. You know, but the difference is with certain fighters, you see the progress. Like I could give you a bad example of that people will pull up because I've said it before, but I'll tell you why it's different. If I look at Tommy Fury, who fought Journeyman but just didn't get better, like for me, he didn't improve in any fight he had.
Yeah,
he went onto the YouTube thing, whereas Fran's improving fight by fight, and it's only a matter of a time before she keeps pushing on and she starts getting up the rankings, winning some belts. And then hopefully like a world title. She wants to become the youngest world champion. I believe she can do it. Everyone else around her believes she can do it. One thing that Bradley said to me was watching her fight and watching her coach. And before she even turned pro, her dad said it. And people say it's a bias because her dad is obviously one of probably a boxing royalty, I would say, Mick Hennessy. Mick Hennessy's boxing royalty.
British royalty.
British boxing royalty.
Definitely.
I mean, let's be honest. He was on that team for the Klitschko and Fury fight in Germany.
He's up there, massively.
He's up there, man. He knows his stuff, innit? And he said before the fight, you know, he wouldn't put his daughter in there. He didn't think she could go and do something. So there's look. She's got a lot of support behind her. A lot of fans. What did you think of her performance? Was it all right?
It was good. Well, I wouldn't. There were like negatives, but I'm not gonna start putting those negatives on because if you put the context of losing a family member behind like recently, and then you put the fact that she's 19.
Do you know what the kind of yeah, go on.
I'm 19. If I'm having that situation, not the mind fact, I'm not doing that training realistically.
Do you know what the kind of person she is though? Yeah, like I'm not joking. Yeah, well, we've had chats about this before, like just about her performance and stuff like that. And if we're talking about like if there's something you saw that you thought, this could have done better, and you spoke to her about it, like she'd the kind of person she is, she'd fully take it on board, like positive, I wouldn't say criticism, but positive, constructive criticism. Maybe she listens to what people are saying. She's very like aware of everything going on around her. You know, the one thing I said to her personally in about her last fight was I didn't feel like she could do a lot because her opponent was her last opponent wasn't really fighting. Her last opponent was hugging. I think she got frustrated. I think it was her last fight. She got really frustrated with it. And I said to her after this fight, I'm glad that you got somebody in there who pushed you and was able to demonstrate ability and everything. So yeah, man. Yeah, glad she's done well. On to the next one. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, man. Can you even say that anymore?
I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah.
Who knows? But no, given the opponent, given the step up as well, because that last performance was against a girl that didn't want to really be there. So records almost null and void because she didn't want to be in there with Fran. This one wanted to be there, came for the fight. The next fight that Francesca's in will be really very different.
I think so.
Everything it's brilliant. Like she's definitely star in the making for it. But
hey, listen, there's some. Sorry. When I'm seeing God, that's what I'm saying. When I'm seeing her dance, but for the weigh-ins, for the fights, in my head, I've got anxiety watching it because I'm like, I could never do anything like that in front of a big crowd. You ain't seeing me do Soldier Boy in front of no one. You see what I'm trying to say? She just done it. She didn't care. She had some dance lessons. So I gave her a bit of banter about that, but she had some dance lessons. She won't say dance lessons, though. She'll say she had pointers. But but listen, she's very in touch with her fans. She's very in touch with the people that support her, appreciate her. She does a lot for somebody who's 19. I don't see how anyone can criticize her, and that's just my opinion. And I think if you're like this at 19 now, the example that you set to other young women, to other fighters, like there's so much more to it than just a boxing match. For any fighter, like I feel like the example they set, the mark that they leave in boxing, all these things make a difference to up and coming boxers. So in terms of what she's done, big up to her. Her nan would have been proud, man. I'm sure she would have. It was a touch weekend because she was going through that, and the thing is, I understand it. From my personal situations, obviously with Father's Day over the weekend, you have these times where you really dig into stuff. With my father not being present anymore, and it's like you have these times where you really dig into stuff, and it's very difficult, like you said, to get up from something like that and to go and fight. I'm not fighting, and I had the worst weekend. I'm 29. And you know what I'm saying? I really struggled with it, but it was to the point, she's 19. She's gone out in front of a crowd. Her family member has, passed away, unfortunately. And, she showed real maturity, and she was honest in front of camera afterwards. She cried. She's like, it's normal. They're normal feelings. So man, I'm just more, when we talk about her performance, fantastic. I don't think she, for where she's at, her coaches could have been any happier with her. So yeah,
I agree with that. That's why I'm not going to start criticizing, because you take all into account, and you go with the fact that she's very new and very young. It's like that. That's a brilliant performance.
I will say one thing, Ben. Run her bread up soon, though, man, because when she gets too big for you, they might come knocking. So run up the bread. No, I'm joking. Yeah, God.
Then we've obviously got Dan Aziz's fight. Ended in a draw. Not probably the dream comeback. Not an amazing fight. No, honestly, not a whole lot to say about that on my part.
I said it was going to be a tough fight, though.
You did say that, yeah. I think actually
you said that as well, though.
Right.
You said that.
I think prediction-wise, we did all right this week.
I mean, I had Dan winning, obviously, but listen, difficult fight. The guy has bags of amateur experience. He hasn't done too well in the pros.
Yeah.
He's got bags of amateur experience, and sometimes you do have that off night. He went on a really big high with the Buatsi fight where he probably reached like peak performance, took a long layoff, and then to come back, there's going from there to there to there. You're only human. So I feel like he's probably there. The draw has probably done him a favor. He go on to the next one and he'll build from that now. And I think he'll get back there, man. There's still loads of fights in that division for him. I hear Lyndon Arthur's on it.
Yeah.
Lyndon Arthur's fighting on the weekend. He's looking for the fight. Depending on how well Lyndon Arthur does, we'll see what happens there. You got Craig Richards there. Obviously, I know they all know each other, South boys, but they're all sort of look. Buatsi and Dan Aziz fought, so the friendship thing's not a problem. It's a business
Yeah,
at the end
yeah.
of the day, isn't it?
If the money's right, they're gonna fight.
Yeah, you've got there's loads of fights to make of that, man. There's Yard. Dan Aziz wants to fight him all. We don't know what's going on with Yard, but hopefully that's resolved soon so we can see this Buatsi Yard fight. But again, I go back to it last week. I'm getting to the point with Buatsi and Yard as a boxing fan where it's like, if you can't make this fight now, crack on. I don't care now. Like I've wanted this fight for so long that I'm just convinced now because of all of the obstacles that maybe not aren't their fault been put in the way that we ain't going to see this fight. So move on and just if you meet down the road, down the road. That's my attitude now. If people are taking too long to fight, I think as boxing fans, you need to stop entertaining it because in the sense of moaning about it, like whilst you've moaned about it, there's been two good cards on over the last 2 weeks. Whilst you're moaning about, Buatsi, Yard, fucking Canelo, Benavidez, whoever it is. Do you know what I mean? So there's boxing on. We're blessed. We've got boxing every week. It's not football where this Premier League's done or the Euros couple of weeks done.
Every single week. And
every
normally
single week.
Good fights every single week.
So yeah, man. But that got back to Dan Aziz. Yeah, build from it, move on. Can't knock him. Wasn't a great performance, but then maybe shaking off a bit of ring rust. He was out of the ring a bit longer than probably took a bit of a break after the Buatsi Yard fight. Sorry, Buatsi fight. And we'll see what happens in the next one, man. There's a lot of criticism from people, but we go on to this shortly. We'll talk about the rest of the card, but I did want to mention towards the end about the Crystal Palace atmosphere and stuff like that because there was a lot of criticism about that as well.
Now, unless I'm forgetting, of course, Isaac Chamberlain, Jack Massey. That's one we did get wrong.
Hey, man, I'm telling you now.
We said that it was going to be a hard fight anyway, and Jack Massey's, he's a solid fighter like that.
Jack Massey is a good boxer. Isaac Chamberlain is a good boxer. That's a 50-50 fight. Yeah. Isaac Chamberlain has been in this cruiserweight division for maybe 10, 11 years.
Yeah. A long time.
Yeah. What do you think? Lawrence Okoli was what, 2018, 2017?
Yeah.
Around that. Lawrence Okoli was around that. He's been in this division. Isaac, I rate so highly. Yeah, and it's not even like just because we've noticed coaches or anything like that. Like genuinely, like I just think these are the kind of boxers you want to watch. They're not afraid to get in the ring and put themselves in a 50-50 fight. I think these fights rise stock of both boxers regardless of the results. Isaac Chamberlain is a difficult fight for a lot of cruiserweights. We might see the Vidal Riley fight. We might see the Chev Clark fight. That's two big fights for Isaac. So push on. Jack Massey's going to move on to world level.
Yeah, I like he'll feel like he's missed out on an opportunity there, Chamberlain. But actually, the world titles are going to be a little bit tied up now because it looks like Bidham Smith is probably going to fight Zerdo. You got Opataya who wants to fight everyone. It doesn't look like a world title opportunity is going to present itself anyway. So as much as losing is not the ideal, that Chev Clark fight makes a lot of sense and it'll make a lot of money. The Vidal Riley fight makes probably easier to do because
do you not think Vidal makes more money though?
It does.
Vidal's got a bigger
I just don't like that fight as much right now.
But Vidal's a problem for a lot of cruiserweights,
I think he's brilliant, but I just don't think he's. I guess I can't because I guess Chamberlain technically his best win is probably in Mikel Lawal, but I'm just not. I don't know. That's probably what will happen. If I'm assuming the reason they've not announced anything for Vidal Riley recently is that they probably were looking at the Chamberlain or the Chev Clark option.
Chev Clark didn't have a great last fight.
No, he just got the knockout. But
to be honest,
he was outboxed. But
remember what we said about that as well. And it was like Ellis made him not have a good night. That wasn't because he wasn't performing well. Just so people understand, Ellis done what he needed to do, and unfortunately, in the end, he didn't come out on top, and he lost. But Chev Clark went in there against somebody who was much more experienced than him, in my opinion, in terms of the pro game.
Yeah.
And other things as well. And yeah, like I said to you, it's just one of them things, man. Like it's interesting, man. I think the cruiserweight division is probably really stacked right now.
Mm.
Stacked. So we'll see what happens, man. But yeah, Isaac will be back. Congratulations, Jack Massey, obviously as well. Brilliant fighter. And they both push on and do what they need to do.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think as much as it's Chamberlain, Isaac won't see it like this. It's not the end of the world by any means. He might see it like he seems like a positive guy. I know that will hurt, but that's not going to that shouldn't. Hopefully that doesn't affect him too much because the opportunities he can still get are incredible, and the chances of Jack Massey getting a world title shot are so limited right now. Anyway,
Yeah.
so we'll see. Main event, I'll be honest, was one of the most unimpressive things I've seen in a while. Billum Smith versus Riakpo. I'm not a fan. I like Billum. I like both of them out of the ring. And I had Riakpo. I said he was going to win it. And I hold my hands up here because I got that very wrong. Billum Smith was very good. Did what he needed to do. Riakpo, so one-dimensional.
Uncho.
I just... I was really
But
disappointed, I'll be honest.
again, look at it from this point of view. Yeah, he's Billum Smith has done this against a Coley and against now Riakpo. Yeah, he's by no stretch of a means the most complete boxer, but what he has got is his boxing IQ, and the foot movement as well. Like his foot movement was a joke. Like that was a difference to me. Just his movement around the ring.
He created angles.
Better technical, better technical boxer than Riakpo was always going to be. I know we said that before the fight. And if Riakpo was going to win, it was because of his power. But he numbed that out. So when you ain't numbed that out, what have you got?
Yeah. It was just, again, it's a little bit like the fight in my head was built up to be something a bit more. And then again, it's like, oh. But I love Billum Smith. Outside of the ring, especially, probably even more so. Inside of the ring, he gets the job done basically every time. And now it's avenged the one loss. So it's like, okay. And he's like, he'll push on. He looks like he might be trying to fight Zerdo, Ramirez, whatever. That's a good fight. Interesting to see how that goes. Obviously, Zerdo's only lost once. He's like 46-1. His only loss was to Bivol, which is one of the most. If you that fight is beautiful to watch because the way Bivol just handles the 6'3" man and makes him just move like, oh my god, it's brilliant. Anyway, that's completely off topic, but that's a good fight. I still think Riakpo can win a world.
Can we just go back for a second? There's a big pause there, Connor.
Yeah.
Makes the man move. Oh, brilliant to watch. We need
that,
a pause, man.
I think that was fine. I think that was absolutely fine.
No Diddy. I've got to get you back for the other one.
No Diddy. I thought it was fine. And I reckon you saying pauses, people have just gone back and gone.
I reckon you knew it inside, which is why you went, moving on. But yeah, go on.
Oh, no, I'm done now. I'm just leaving. No, I'm joking. No, I think Riakpo can still win a world title. I think Billum Smith has got some really good opportunities now to cement his name as a proper, like, at least British legend. I mean, he's already kind of beaten a Coley, beaten Riakpo. Billum Smith, if he was to go and beat, or even just put in a really good, sort of like top class performance against us, like a top one of the world titleists, he can.
He walked in as an underdog against a Coley, and now he's looking at 2 title defenses in the bag.
Yeah.
Or 2 title defenses because Masternak and Riakpo.
Yeah, he's looking good. He's looking set for a really good end to his career because he is a bit older, but it's absolutely fine. Right now, we've spent a lot of time on the British scene. We're going to move over to America, and then very quickly Puerto Rico. Although I'll be honest, I didn't watch that because I was wanting to watch Tank. Benavidez' performance I haven't seen, but I've been told
done well, but he gassed up.
Yeah, a little bit underwhelming towards the second half of the fight.
But it's his fight at light heavyweight, and you got to remember as well, he's been cutting weight for God knows how long. This is his more natural weight, but he's not been moving around like this consistently. He's got to get used to it. He still causes a problem for anyone in the light heavyweight division.
Yeah, I've not heard anything that suggests the first sort of 5-6 rounds didn't showed anything other than the quality we've seen and we're used to. It's just gassing a little bit towards the end. That's kind of normal. And still beat a high operator. Maybe not the best in the world, obviously, but very good. And then we'll move straight to the main event. we basically predicted this bang on, where we said Frank Martin would outbox him, and then Davis will knock him out, sort of later rounds. And round 8, it's just it's a beautiful knockout. Stuns him and then takes his head off in round 8. It was beautiful.
Just put him in a spliff, man. He's just rolling my spliff, smoking on that Frank Martin pack, man. Hey, Frank, tank, man. But he's an unreal boxer. But I do need to see. There was no rehydration clause in this fight, but Frank Martin still looked like
he's not
mashed.
a match for 135.
He looked mashed. When after the fight, what's interesting is Ryan Garcia looked like that uncle at the barbecues, man, compared to Gervonta Davis, just with a big belly, man.
Yeah,
just with a ray or a rum and a whole plate of food and ready for seconds. Yeah. That's what Ryan Garcia looked like.
Yeah.
So I'm saying to you. So yeah, that was fun.
That rematch without the rehydration clause would be really interesting. But
yeah.
I don't think we'll ever see that.
I don't think we're going to see Ryan Garcia box for the next 2 years.
No,
Devin Haney's going on a sabbatical for 2 years.
Yeah.
Bit weird that one, but then he is.
I don't. Well, I know, but it's like.
Isn't it weird though? Isn't it weird though that this always come out after he's being investigated because of the way he rehydrates during fights?
Yeah, we'll see. It is a bit odd, but what every fighter does is like
no, but he's been doing it wrong apparently, and they've caught him from allegedly they've caught him or got proof that he's been rehydrating in the wrong way, which would put in jeopardy pretty much all of his WBC title fights.
Yeah, I get that. Now I could be wrong here. I don't understand how you can get proved to have done that wrong. I'd love to be.
Yeah.
Like
from what I understand, it's all monitored though, isn't it? But then I'm like, if it's monitored, why has no one bring this up sooner? This is the problem with these dodgy organizations.
Yeah.
Like are you telling me no one knew that Ryan Garcia was on roids before the fight?
Yeah.
But the fight's got to run because people need to get paid, and then they'll deal with it afterwards. You're telling me not one single person in the officials or anyone that tested him, no spiked results come up beforehand.
Yeah.
That went, hang on, this fight can't happen. Too much money on the line, too many corrupt organizations, and too many people who, that's just my opinion on that anyway. But it's America. America's fucked anyway.
That's true. Yeah. We'll see. I will see. I mean, the Devin Haney stuff's interesting. The Ryan Garcia stuff's interesting, but it's all like speculation. Garcia doesn't look good because his lawyers have come back with an argument that's been completely fucking done in.
Haney's one
is sort of still rumor. I mean, I've heard it as well. I've not heard anything serious about it, but we'll see. The 2-year thing, the timing isn't great on that. But then the amount of fighters that say they're going to do breaks and it's just to build a bit of media attention. And
he's going to lose his belt though. Surely he has to lose his belt.
Yeah, well, there's purse bids for him versus Sandor Martin as well very soon. So if he doesn't want that fight and doesn't basically go for it, then it'll be Sandor Martin versus I don't know who's even in that. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Catterall kind of makes sense. That's not a bad fight. Catterall doesn't have a fight, but who knows? Frank Martin looked good though. I will say that I think Frank Martin looked really good. He clearly is as talented as kind of not everyone knew. I think people really wrote him off, but you can't do anything against that power. And he's at his natural weight. He's proven that point of cutting weight as much as if you can do it, if your body just allows that to happen, then yeah, all right, being that weight bully works. But if you can stay in natural weight and you've got that kind of power, there is no need to cut weight. Like, he is ridiculously powerful.
Yeah.
And I saw, and this is not completely, slightly off topic, I saw Noah Inoue was there at the fight, I believe, and they were saying Tank came in at 133.4 or something for the weigh-in when he could have come in at 135. Inoue on fight night against fucking Lewis Neri, that's his last fight, weighed 136. They don't think Tank put on more than about 2 or 3 pounds maximum from fight night. So, at a catch weight, technically speaking, Inouye versus Tank kind of works. Obviously, Inouye will be a little bit fatter than usual. But if he's fighting at 136, if that is true, if he's actually getting in the ring at 136, that's crazy. And we'll see, because I mean, that would do. I mean, the numbers would be crazy. The power versus power, skill versus skill.
That fight has to happen in Japan, though.
Yeah, I like that fight. And that
because
fight in Japan,
because Americans need to get their head out of the sand and realize that they don't their stadiums won't do shit to what that Tokyo Drome does.
Oh yeah,
where
you get 60,000 every time.
Sorry, Americans. You had to hear it from me.
No,
you lot ain't got shit on the Tokyo Drome. I'll be honest with you, a lot of American boxers, like, come on, man. How many venues, do the top guys fight at where they're 80,000, 90,000? They don't do it like the British. They don't do it like anyone else. They can't do it like us because we're different. Same with over there in Japan now. They're different. They got the Tokyo Dome. Americans need to catch up now. I might be wrong. There could be a stadium where I don't see enough fights in there. When Deontay Wilder was WBC champion, he was fighting in the Barclays Center. What's that? 15,000.
They've got like the AT&T. I don't know what the Barclays isn't much. I think it tops out. It's like the equivalent of the O2, I reckon, sort of 20,000 top. Yeah, they've got the AT&T. They do have stadiums. They've got the NFL ones, but they're not putting consistently.
Can we even see that?
19. Yeah.
That's Barclays Center. Your heavyweight WBC champion fighting in front of 19,000. Our British one, 80,000 at Wembley. Shut up, man. No, but it's true though. It's true. I've got so much vim for these American fans sometimes, because they really think that they're the shit above everyone else. But I'm telling you now, you can't put a boxing show on like the UK or, for this matter now, Japan.
Yeah, I mean, Naono's pull in Japan makes sense, but it's fucking mental. Like Lewis Neri, a relatively unknown, known but somewhat unknown boxer from the other side of the world comes over, and you're selling out 55, 60,000 tickets.
Yeah,
it's mental. Who would you like to see Tank fight next? I've heard they're going into early talks with Lomachenko now.
Yeah, that'll be the fight I want to see. To be honest with you.
Yeah, I think Shakur Stevenson might go.
We go back to it quickly as well. Yeah, AT&T Stadium, 80,000. But how many boxing matches have been there?
I don't know, but I think Canelo might have been there.
Yeah, Canelo's Mexican though, man. They can't claim that. No, I'm just saying. Can't claim that. But this is I'm not sure. This is my point. It's like, sorry, I will go on to what you just said, but I did. Yeah. This stuff really bugs me, because I see so many Americans. When Inouye was fighting in Japan, he needs to come over to America. He's already done that, by the way.
Yeah,
he's already fought in America, but then realized I'll go back to home turf, more money than I'm earning fighting in America.
Yeah.
So there's no reason for him to come over. Gervonta Davis. Which stadium did you want? Do you know what? Let's do this quick. Which stadium did Gervonta Davis just fight in?
I don't actually know. I'd assume it's probably Vegas, like MGM, but I'm not actually sure. But yeah, no, you're right. The Naonoe stuff pisses me off. The American saying he needs to come over to America to prove he's the champion. That pisses me so. That fucks me off. Mainly because their reasoning is that he's doing drugs that he can only do in Japan. No, Japan have their own boxing commission. Not to say, listen, I'm sure there's a lot of boxers that maybe get away with it. That is not a reason that he's not a champion. No. Unless he's caught, he's innocent. Innocent until proven guilty. And he fights so regularly that I don't see how he could be doing anything.
Do you know why I knew he isn't going to the MGM Grand? Because they got childish numbers. Let's go back to that. 16,000. You can't even see that because it's blurred. 16,800 people at the MGM Grand. It's childish. It's when you talk about this thing, this concept that Americans have got, that everyone's got to come to America because America's great. One, it's not great. Second of all, you lot don't do shit. In terms of boxing, you lot ain't got the stadiums. I'm going on a mad rant with this, but it's true. Does my head in. We got Wembley Stadium. You got AT&T. That's cute. We got a couple of ones like that, Wembley Stadium. We can do that.
Football grounds as well.
Yeah, we got the football grounds. We got. You know what I mean? There's loads that you can do, man. And do you know what we've got as well at the moment? Bob Arum's out there, to be fair, doing his thing in Saudi. But in terms of in terms of stadiums, when we go back to Inouye, 1,000,000%. like the Tokyo Drome. Fight in front of 16,800 at MGM against Gervonta, or fight in front of 60,000 on the Tokyo Drome. I know where I'm going.
Oh yeah, he's getting
so
record pay as well, like
Hmm.
for his division, everything. Like, so what the fuck do people want from him? To turn down fighting in front of the 60,000 of his own fans? To what? Prove a point to Steve on Twitter? Like, fuck off. It's not. That's not a
Yeah,
point.
but you get it's too many of them about nowadays. The old
Yeah.
virtual
I'll tell you
warriors
what,
with no
annoyed does
photos.
in Gervonta Davis, then that's that debate done. They'll never chat to him again. I mean, they'll find a way. I don't know if he does actually do that. I don't. That fight. Don't even know
A
what
man said, yeah. I had an argument with someone about Nui, and they said he should move up to 147 to fight. And I was like, he's moved up what 5 weights already. I was
Yeah.
like, and they were like, yeah, but how do you know he can't? And I was like, it's not about me knowing the fighter. It's just pointing out that he doesn't need to. For one, he's moved up 5 weights. So this, and again, this is an American, by the way. We're going back to the Americans.
Of course.
Do you know what? I know a really good American podcast that I follow. So this isn't including them punches point. They're all right. But sorry, but your people, a lot of you talk rubbish. so yeah, Nui, he needs to prove himself at 147 in America. Again, the America talk is childish. What you want me to do? Fight at Barclays or MGM? Nah, man. Do you know what's mad? The MGM doesn't even. The MGM doesn't even. It's less capacity than the O2.
Yeah.
What's O2? 20,000?
Yeah, 21, 20.
21, 22. So it's childish, man. It's childish, but yeah, we go back to it. Obviously, who would I like to see Gervonta Davis fight next? Probably be Lomachenko. It's a hard
Him or
fight for
Shakur
him.
Stevenson. Either one of those I'm happy with.
I would like to see that Shakur Stevenson actually agrees to box. That would be nice. Because right now he just does talking on Twitter. Like, and the thing is, respectively, yeah. And the thing is, you can right. There's a bias for me. I am more in touch with the UK and obviously big American fighters and American in general. But I can't see all this hype for Shakur when the guy doesn't fight.
I get that.
Terence fights. There's a hype for him. We know what Terence is. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Canelo fights. Gervonta Davis fights. We know what Gervonta Davis could do. When's the last time Shakur Stevenson's had a fight?
It was earlier this year, I think. It was the one where everyone.
Oh, that was the boring one.
Yeah, he's fighting again in like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like July 8th, because you got Keyshawn Davis on the undercard of that. No, I'll be honest, I've watched a lot of him. The last fight was shit, really shit, like fucking awful to watch. But I really like him. I think against Davis, he actually gets his head taken off in the same way most of them do.
But hear this, yeah. For example, someone like Shakur, who is being like established, yeah, he's an established fighter. I've heard he's good, he's unreal, and I'm sure he is. But if we look at it like this, yeah, since 2022,
yeah.
So he fought twice in 2022, twice in 2023, and then his next fight is like now, and then he probably won't fight until next year again.
Yeah.
After this fight, when we're talking about boxers who are not active, yeah, that is one of them.
Yeah.
And for me, I just can't give him all this praise as a boxing fan when I don't really see him fight. So, like, until I see more of it. But you're right. See the Gervonta Davis fight happens. But the problem is, yeah, he doesn't fight enough. So, to what point? If he loses a fight, he's taking a bigger drop than probably a lot of people because he's not as active.
Yeah. I also don't think he's ready for the tank fight. So he's doing all this sort of like I'm an established world champion like Crawford. I don't love the fact that Terence Crawford's probably only going to fight once a year unless the money that he's getting put on him, which is possible now because of Saudi, is going to be ridiculous. But he's earned that, right? Canelo could fight once a year. He's earned that more than enough. Shakur is what, 23, 24 and 0?
Mm-hmm.
He's not had a fight against anyone who's ridiculously like just high profile, like somebody that we all go,
He
yeah,
ain't
no,
he
this
ain't
is a
done he
fight.
ain't done what Teofimo Lopez has done.
He's not done the time. He's not done the time. That's the point. He's not
Tio,
done the
what's
time.
Tio
Like,
done? Undisputed by the age of 25. Was he undisputed? Tio?
yeah, yeah. No, he wasn't.
Unified.
He unified. Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
wasn't undisputed, but
Tio's unified, age 25. That's a guy who fights.
yeah,
That's a guy that I rate and respect just because of, you know, what he's saying, what he's done.
yeah.
I'm sure Shakur Stevenson's good, but I'm just not convinced at the moment, man.
No, I agree. Like personally, I watch him and I go, there's a fighter there that is brilliant,
Hmm.
but Devin Haney has fought some top guys. Garcia has fought obviously some top guys. Lopez fought some top guys. Tank fought some top guys. Shakur's not really done that yet, and yet he's putting himself in with those lot.
Yeah.
And it's like, I would love to see him versus Lomachenko. That's like the Haney rematch, but possibly even more technical. So
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. But against Davis, I don't think he's dealt with someone like that. That kind of ridiculous power. I don't think he's dealt with that. And I don't know if he could deal with that. He's brilliant. His IQ is brilliant, but I don't know. And then the only other sort of fight we've got left to talk about is Sabriel Matias versus Liam Paro, where from what I've heard, and I will be watching it at some point, but I've been busy, Liam Paro completely outdid him.
Yeah. Matias had mad smoke before the fight as well.
Yeah, and I was really liking him. It's just now it's like, he said all this shit and it's really backfired. And I get why he did. It's all promotion, but it's like, it's the first time I think we properly saw Matias. And it's like, oh, fuck. He's now lost. But I do like Liam Paro a lot as well. So
big up to him, man. I'm happy. He was probably seen as the underdog in that, which is mental, by the way, as well.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's been an interesting week of boxing, isn't it? And obviously, before we do go, I want to do mention as well. We go back to earlier on what we was talking about. A lot of people had criticism for Crystal Palace because of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
They had a limited capacity, from what I understand. So I don't really know what people expect. I don't think it was dead, but again, I think there's this agenda where it's like, you know, if you use that narrative, which I don't like using because I just think it's boxing. Like, put it this way, yeah. If you go there for me, this is my own personal opinion. If you go there for just the surroundings, go and watch a Little Mix concert, man.
Yeah.
Real talk, because I'm there to watch boxing, innit? The atmosphere, yeah, it plays a massive part, but it weren't dead. Like, there was a couple people being dramatic about this.
Yeah.
It weren't dead. Yeah, was it the best? No, but then have Matchrooms and Queensbury's atmosphere has been the best in Saudi? No, but they're putting on good boxing matches. Me personally, I'm there to watch the boxing. So, you know, I go to small hall shows. I go to flipping. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's just a weird argument for people to have. Oh, yeah, but the atmosphere wasn't what it was meant to be. So that's ruined the whole night of boxing.
Yeah.
These are professional fighters. They're going to fight regardless. You know what I mean? It's been televised to X amount of people around the world, Sky Sports, etc.
You do generally find most of those people the ones that are going there to just get drunk and have a bit of a party, which is what boxing does
or
sometimes
just talk
turn
shit.
into.
Just talk
All
shit.
That. Yeah, yeah.
To be honest with you, like when I pay money, yeah, because I pay my money to go and watch. I've done and have done it, and I will continue to do it. When I go and pay money, yeah, none of this free get into the arena free of charge thing. Like, I'm paying money to get into these events, like Tyson Fury and Dillian White. I'm paying my own hard-earned money to go and watch it. The atmosphere obviously helped. It was Wembley. It was going to be massive. But I'm there to watch the boxing matches. I was fuming that when I turned up with my friends, they wanted to sit in a pub until 8:30 in the evening and miss half the card. My head was gone because they had hold of the tickets. I ended up. So imagine I'm at Wembley watching half the fight on my phone in the pub until we go in there because I'm waiting for these lot. So my friend who had the tickets, I was waiting for him to turn up. It was digital. Listen, I'm there to watch the boxing matches, innit? Like, the atmosphere, the fighters make the atmosphere, and I feel like for the parts of what they were involved in, they all done their job.
Yeah.
I think if you're involved with the platform and you criticize it and you're criticizing the atmosphere, I do think it's maybe a slight dig at the fighters on it. And to be brutally honest with you, I'm sure your favorite fighter at one point was on a card that the atmosphere weren't great, but you wouldn't say that about them. So
yeah, of course.
I just think people find weird reasons to hate. Boxing's full of weird people, and it will always be like that at all levels. I couldn't like the top entitled to, you know what I mean, anyway. So yeah, I'm ranting a bit, but go on.
Boxing is full of weird people, you're right. And that will be the final message. Obviously, this week we've got Liam Cameron, Lyndon Arthur on Channel 5. Always like the Channel 5
Friday
fights.
night, isn't it?
Friday night, that'll be good. And there is a world title fight on Top Rank. Espinoza, I think WBC featherweight, I want to say. Oh, no, it can't be featherweight. Can't be featherweight because that would be Vargas. I don't know what weight. Maybe super feather. That doesn't make. Could be super feather. Anyway, I'll watch it. Not staying up till 4 for that because fucking no. But
Hey, Connor, what channel are you watching it on though?
What channel?
Yeah.
Top Rank, mate.
Yeah. Top Rank, that American one, mental man. I watch all my fights anyway, pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? It's very expensive now.
It's annoying when the design app doesn't work, though, isn't
it? yeah. But that's to do with my Wi-Fi. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I got the same thing. That's why I've got to go through a Top Rank app that doesn't actually exist.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
What?
Yeah. You